Welcome to Geotopia. In the next 10 minutes in this video, I'm going to show you what this project is about, okay? And this is a project that you may have never seen before. It's a brand new type of project, okay? And it will set you free because the student can learn by themselves, okay? So let me show you. There are 7 parts in this project. Each part contains its story and its character, right? So you can see that there are topics in each of the part, and they cover the 7th grade geometry. Okay, you may think that, well, it is quite a lot because there's 7 parts. How can I assign? How can I follow that? So let me show you. Each part contains a teacher's guide. You simply follow these 5 steps. Okay, just put them in the Google Classroom, make sure that you make a copy for each student, and you are done. Okay, during the project you may have some questions, and I wrote down the answers in the teacher's guide. Okay, if you have any extra question, feel free to just email me. Okay, there are also answer key in each of the part, so never worry about having no answer key. You can always monitor the student progress with that. All right, and how can you introduce this project to your student, or what is the story? So let me show you that. All right, in each cover, on the first day, in the first lesson of this project, you just go to this intro. This can be found on the cover of the project, right? And let me show you what this intro is. Okay, let me show you. So you will see this Geotopia Lost Treasure. Just simply tell the student that there is a town called Geotopia, and there are 4 fancy places. All right, one is the Tangram Street, and then Mario's Pizza, the pizzeria, and a chopstick town, and a polyhedra island. Okay, and they are the setting of the stories, right? And then students are going to work for this mayor. Okay, there is a secret quest. Student will need to gather 7 fragments of the treasure in those 4 places. All right, and when they gather the treasure, they are going to put them together so that they can make the sword and the shield. So yes, once again, they will need to collect them from 7 parts of this project, and they need to be careful, because while these characters are helping them to retrieve the treasure piece, one of them is the thief. Okay, that thief may steal all of them, right? So while the students are hunting the treasure, they also need to be careful, and they also need to think if the character that is helping them is a good guy or bad guy. All right. Okay, next. There are always some students who are so smart to finish the whole project early. You never worry about any student who finished them early, because there is a merchant's quest for the early finishers. Okay, I will tell you more about this merchant's quest. And one of the coolest part in this project is that students are able to choose their own role from these 3. They can be the officer, they can be the professor, and they can be the hacker. And what does it mean? So to begin the journey, they will need to, the students will need to choose one of the role, and they will receive a file. Okay, hacker file, hacker's file, officer's file, and professor's file. Hackers, they will get definitions. Officers will get error analysis, right? And the professor will get the examples from the textbooks. Okay, and you may question that how can students just finish the problem with the hacker file or only with the officer file? Well, actually, that's why I would suggest you to pair up the students. Okay, just 2 people pair. Okay, of course you can do a 3 people group or 4 people group, but I would say pairing is the best. Okay, yeah, it is because when students are picking different files, they will have to share the informations together. I mean, they need to share the information with each other to solve the math problems. So for example, like hacker and professor, right? When you're reading the example right there, what's area of triangle, what is B, what is H, they can find it from here. And what kind of triangle is this, they can find it from here. So there are links between the files when they are solving the problems. Okay, now you may think, what are the problems? So let me show you. All right, before I show you the problems, I will tell you that students will need to immerse themselves into the story. Okay, there's a story, there's a character which will help them to get the treasure, and they will need to follow the indicator on the top right of the slide to complete the quest. Okay, so for example, this is the first challenge to them. They will need to go on the pages, okay, share with each other, and then fill out the blanks right there. Okay, they only need to fill out 2 of them. Okay, so once they know how to do this slide, they know how to do the rest of all 7 parts. Okay, and now problems. The problems are pretty straightforward. Okay, student would need to go to the files to answer the problems, how to cut them, right? How to cut this composite figure, how to find the area of each part. Okay, while they're doing the problems, they will also read stories, okay, more about this character. And at the end, you do not need to check answers for them. They can check by themselves. Once they go to there, it will direct them to a Google form. Okay, it contains the problems from the slide. Students just copy the answers over and then hit the submit button. They will see which one is right or wrong, and they have unlimited attempt, okay, until they get 100. Okay, now next, the chest. Yeah, of course, the students are doing everything for the treasure piece, right? And the treasure piece is locked in this chest. Okay, student will need to solve the password. Right? And then they put them in here, and if it is correct, they will get a piece. They will need to save the piece. They will need to save this piece and then put them in the shadow in the slide right there. Okay, and once they collect all 7 of them, just give them a bag of chips, any snack or candy or some point, and they will be very happy with it. Okay, I'm sure. Alright, and now, early finisher part. Okay, let's go back to that merchant's quest. So, teachers, you are the merchant. Yes, you are selling. Okay, you are selling the clues to the students. How can you sell? How can they earn the currency right there? No, there are no currency, of course. So, like for example, there are 4. The first part of the merchant's quest is about Tangram. Well, students are going to spend hours on these. Okay, they are quite challenging. Okay, and then there are also part 2, part 3, and part 4 of the merchant's quest. Okay, not every single part of the Geotopia has an extra credit. So in these 7 parts, there are only 4 merchant's quests that are for the early finishers. Okay, so what are they about? I will go back to this later. Let me introduce you part 2. Part 2 will focus on this character, Mrs. James, and I also prepared GeoGebra applet, right? I make them by myself. Student can just navigate these, explore these to find out the triangle inequality. In the part 3, there are also some new feature. They will need to earn a pass by answering some chopstick rules, right? It is like pixel art, which they need to put the answers right to get the pass, right? And then merchant's quest. Okay, let's go back to that merchant's quest. For early finishers, they will need to be creative. Okay, they will need to make their own door puzzle in the part 2 of the merchant's quest. They will need to make circle art for the part 3, and they will need to make virtual houses on the GeoGebra, right? For the part 4. So you have tons of student work to showcase, and I'm quite sure that your colleagues, your AP, your principal would like to see it. Okay, all right. And then part 5 and part 6, let's go back to it. Part 5 and part 6 is focusing on the 3D shapes, right? And at the end, students are able to build up their own house, their own houses, their own roof and own tree. Let me show you what my student built. All right, let me show you. As you could see that, yeah, I was like building up a neighborhood for them. They just put their houses right there, right? They build a roof. Okay, some of them are nice, some of them are ugly, of course. And as you can see that this is the whole neighborhood. Yes, right? Isn't it beautiful? Right. So please give this project a shot, okay? Because potentially you may not need to teach the whole class about the geometry, because a lot of students will find the fun of it and can learn the geometry themselves. And how can you make sure of that? At the end, the part 7 is the assessment, okay? It will show you, it will test the students' knowledge about the geometry, and you are able to see their score, right? So please give this project a shot, okay? And I'm sure that you will not regret, okay? All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.